This is CrimeFighters, the police and you. It's nice being with you this week. In our discussion segment, we bring you an interview with the erudite Assistant Commissioner of Police, the Force Public Relations Officer, Mr. Agberebi Akpoebi, is going to talk to you about the policy thrust of the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Mike Mbama Okiro. Like I introduced you to members of the public, I'd like you to talk to us on what is the IGP, that's Sir Mike Mbama Okiro's policy thrust. What is he doing to fight crime? That is the concern of Nigerians.
On assumption of duty as Inspector General of Police, Sir Dr. Mike Mbama Okiro, CFR, NPM, MNI, came up with his nine-way test, which basically sums up his policy thrust. And this nine-way test starts with that of transparency and accountability, the war against corruption and crime, crime prevention, intelligence and crime database, training, police public image and police public relations, human rights, community policing, and interagency cooperation. These nine-way tests form the policy thrust of the Inspector General of Police.
You have just told us the policy thrust of the IGP, which has to do with the nine-way test. But I'm sure members of the public would want you to dwell more on the issue of crime and crime prevention. He was once the Commissioner of Police in Lagos State, and people knew what he did, how he fought crime. Now he's been, by the grace of God, he's been made the Inspector General of Police. I'm sure Nigerians want to also know, what is he going to do to make sure they go to bed with their two eyes closed?
There's no doubt that the Inspector General of Police have said over and over again that he has zero tolerance for corruption. And it is very obvious too that if the Inspector General of Police is to fight the war against crime, he must also, first of all, ensure that the police personnel who are supposed to be the hub upon which the fight against corruption and crime will be based are themselves made to at least imbibe this idea of zero tolerance for corruption. And it is for that reason that the Inspector General of Police have taken various measures, various steps to ensure that policemen who engage in corrupt practices, like those who at the various checkpoints found to be collecting money from motorists, those of them who are the police stations demanding money for bail, those who at the police station will collect money from complainants under the guise that they're going to use the money for investigation of their cases. Those of them who would want to use every avenue to extort money from members of the public, the Inspector General of Police have taken a lot of measures to ensure that this group of policemen are identified and flushed out. That was the first step the Inspector General of Police took. And he has also, in trying to clean up the bad eggs within the force, he has ensured that those of them who are caught for corrupt practices are dealt with accordingly. He has even on several occasions paraded police officers that were caught in the act. Those of them who were collecting money on the road, those of them who are involved in examination malpractices, those of them who conspire with criminals to either hire out their guns or ammunition for the criminals to engage in armed robbery and other related crimes. The Inspector General of Police have paraded this group of policemen, and of course they were subsequently dismissed and charged to court. These actions of the Inspector General of Police are meant to serve as a deterrent to others who are in the force. So any police officer who had the intention of, engaging in corrupt practices or criminal, acts have, by the actions of the Inspector General of Police, know that the IG would not tolerate corruption, would not tolerate police involvement in crime, and we can see for now that a lot of police officers have started changing. Today, we have cases where police officers on the road assist members of the public. They recover huge amount of money. They trace the owners of such money and hand over the money to them. On daily basis, we receive such reports.
The fear of Al-Qaeda is the beginning of wisdom everywhere in the world. We've read the papers where people talk about the IG warning about the imminent attack of Al-Qaeda in Nigeria. How true is that?
The Inspector General of Police have not at any time made any statement to the effect that there is any imminent attack on Nigeria by Al-Qaeda or any other terrorist group for that matter. I want to say that I did read the newspapers which reported that the IG said so when he had a conference of all senior officers of the rank of Commissioner of Police and above at Obudu Cattle Ranch in Cross River State. I immediately responded to these false reports in these newspapers by issuing a rejoinder in which I stated specifically that the Inspector General of Police did not, in that meeting, mention or discuss anything about possible attack on Nigeria by Al-Qaeda. I also made it very, very clear that the only public statement made by the Inspector General of Police regarding terrorism was when he formally inaugurated, or rather commissioned, the anti-terrorism squad, which he specifically formed. And in doing so, he made it very, very clear that Nigeria, and indeed countries around Nigeria, have not witnessed any terrorist attack. But then, Nigeria is not going to wait until there is an attack before we prepare for it. And it is for that reason that the Inspector General of Police set up the anti-terrorism squad. And since their formation, all that they have been engaging is training and training and training in all aspects of terrorism. Even as I talk to you, many of them are in training at the C School, some are in training at the Sherry Hills, others are out of the country undergoing training in some other countries that are friendly with Nigeria, that are supporting us to make sure that our police officers are well trained. Don't forget that Nigeria is one of the countries that have been participating in peacekeeping operations all over the world. And for today, I can tell you without mincing words that the Nigeria Police Force is highly respected globally. And for that reason, we need to also prepare ourselves. We need to ensure that our men are well trained to deal with whatever situation, including terrorist threat. But certainly, there is no information whatsoever, there is no intelligence support whatsoever, and the Inspector General of Police never, at any point in time, said that there is imminent threat of attack on